Welcome back to the program, and I'm pleased to be joined by my friend Michael Wrona. Michael, the voice of Los Alamitos, joining us here from the comfort, I assume, from your home. Don't know, you don't have to answer that, but you look comfortable. You look comfortable. Good to have you on board. We have a pretty fun weekend of trials here on at Los Alamitos. Saturday we got the John Deere Juvenile. Sunday we got the Derby trials. How does this weekend look to you?
Hi, Jose. Yeah, I'm relaxing in Huntington Beach. All is well, and looking forward to this huge weekend of racing at Los Alamitos. There's quality both nights, and it should be a terrific weekend for everybody.
Yeah, two trials for the John Deere California Regional Challenge on Sunday, a field of 9 and a field of 10. So the top 10 fastest times advance to that final. The winner of the California final will get an invitation to represent California at the AQHA Challenge Championships later towards the end of the year. So let's take a look.
Particular races, Jose, the race names are a bit of a mouthful. I'm pleased I don't have to insert the race name into the race call. It'd go something like Racing in the John Deere Juvenile California Regional Challenge Trial Photo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to come up with. I was like, there's no way you can get all that mouthful of challenge. And what makes it difficult is that it's the regional challenge, and then you have the California challenge, which is the final. So, yeah, it can be a little bit of a mouthful, especially when you have a field of 9, Michael, in the first trial, and a field of 10 in the second trial.
Indeed.
And then, yeah, it could be quite a challenging times there. But before we kind of dive into maybe a horse that you might like in these trials, how have you settled now into Los Alamitos here? You look comfortable. You know the sidelines from up there in the booth are great. You've called some very tight photos that I said, wow, Michael got that photo correct. How are your sidelines from up there?
Yeah, well, thank you for the compliment. It's a pressurized job, particularly with these blanket finishes. You know, you get the occasional photos in thoroughbred races, but typically the horses are only a path or two apart from each other. Here, they can be opposite sides of the track, and it can be very difficult to get a line on them. I am before the finish line by several strides. There's the steward's room in between me and the placing judges. So they pass me and they're not at the finish yet. And so you do have to allow something for the angle. Then it becomes more difficult the wider apart they are. And then even if they're next to each other, Jose, the trickiest thing, I think, in any photo finish at any track is whether the horses are in stride or out of stride. If the horses' noses are going up and down in unison and you know the angle, then you can maybe stick your neck out. But by golly, mate, if one head's going up while the other's going down, that is treachery. It's very, very dangerous.
and it feels like you know, we get tested every night because it's quarter horse racing, like you mentioned. In thoroughbred, you'll have the occasional tight photo finish. In quarter horse photo finishes, you know, in quarter horse racing, it feels like there's a photo finish almost in every single race. So
sometimes more of the art is knowing when to stay out.
Yes.
And not put your head on the chopping block, you know. And some of those head bobbers, you can see the print afterwards and it's a full head. And I think, well, I look a bit silly for not having a go, but I know that it could have gone the other way if it were a half stride before or after.
It's better to play it safe. I agree. It's better to play it safe. So looking at these trials on Saturday night, Michael, is there a horse that you think might be interesting based on what happened in their their last race?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm interested in a horse based on what's happened to him in all of his races. Good Trouble in race 8, Jose. And this might be one of the most oxymoronic horse names I've ever encountered in my career. I don't know what kind of trouble in life could be good, but certainly if you're breaking out of the gate in a quarter horse race, there's no such thing as good trouble. I'd be interested to know what inspired the name. And as if tempting fate, this horse got wiped out in both of these first two starts before coming back in a trial to the Edberg Million Futurity, went a long shot third at 20-1 for Jose Flores on that night when he just had a ripper of a night. He was winning all sorts of things across those trials, and he even got Good Trouble into the money at 20-1 that night. Now, the thing that interests me, Jose, is that the horse ran individually slightly faster than Dash a Good Reason did in winning a trial, and they're only one race apart on the same night. And then, and I will admit that Dash a Good Reason overcame trouble at the start and is very good. The horse, I'm not trying to take anything away from Dash a Good Reason, who's 2 for 2, but there was a trouble also for Good Trouble at the start of the race. Yeah. He was lugging out, and I've been watching him ever since he was pinballed in his debut. So then he comes back, and I think we've got the replay to show of his most recent run. He cut back in distance to 300 yards in an allowance. He stumbled a few strides after the start, and he was closing strongly. I think he should have won that race. I just want to see what the horse is capable of if everything goes his way. And I'm not sure there should be such a discrepancy in the odds between Dash a Good Reason, who's 5-2 on the morning line, and Good Trouble, who's at 5-1. And I know I'm dancing around Freight Train Cartel from the outside post, the 9-5 favourite. Very tough to beat. But let's just take a look here in this most recent race on June 27 for Good Trouble, who had gate 4, and there was a stumble about 3 or 4 strides into the race. And he then had significant ground to make up, was doing his best work late, just fell a little bit short, but he was cutting back in distance from 350 to 300 yards. Again, the time individually that he clocked in that Edberg Million Futurity was on a par with, actually slightly faster than Dash a Good Reason's individual time that night. And that's why I'm thinking 5-1 is enticing. See that little stumble there, the horse in the cap white shadow roll? Yes. And I just want to see what this horse can produce if everything goes his way. The favourite from the outside post, if he repeats the maiden win, very tough to beat. That was a very sharp performance and a strong gallop out. Everything went perfectly for Freight Train Cartel that night. He did everything right. He's very talented. And from the outside post, he just might come back and do exactly the same thing and win the race. But again, I just think there's a little bit of an overlay there with Good Trouble at 5-1. I think he can outrun El Mysterio, who's at 6-1. And I don't think he should be 2.5 points longer than Dash a Good Reason. So that's why I'm suggesting he's worth a play. Yeah, you can see there a slight bobble. He was kind of finding his best right there late. Good Trouble will be in gate 9 in that field of 10, which features the 9-5 morning line favorite of Freight Train Cartel. So there's going to be a very stacked trial here. You got Dash a Good Reason, who's 2 for 2 for Jose Flores, 5-2 on Edberg Arch morning line. So there's a look at the 9 lines program there. That's going to be race number 8 on Saturday night, the second of 2 trials there for the John Deere Juvenile Regional Challenge. You can get these 9 lines past performances, purchase them at losalamitos.com. You can download them and then get them on your iPad digitally there. So Michael Wrona is going to Good Trouble, 5-1 on Edberg Arch morning line. I think you're going to get somewhere close to that odds. I don't think the odds are going to be significantly lower. You expect Freight Train Cartel to take plenty of play, and like the likes of Dash a Good Reason as well. So there's a good look at the replay there for Good Trouble for Saturday night. And Michael, that's a pretty good resource there. We showed the website for losalamitos.com. That is free for the fans to use. You can go to Los Alamitos, click on live video replays. You can watch all the replays for free. And you can also watch the live racing from Losal right there from the website. Yeah, and those replays come up very fast, and you can click on the head-on, which is very important to watch, as well as the pan replays. Very good resource indeed, as well as being able to access the workout videos from the mornings. One other thing, I'm not sure really how much weight this carries with you. I'd be interested in your thoughts, actually, but I noticed that both Freight Train Cartel and Dash a Good Reason are getting their 3rd different jockey in 3 career starts. Cruz Mendez is on Good Trouble, rode the horse last time. Maybe there's a little advantage there as well. Yeah, you can see Cruz Mendez got to
got to ride Control for the first time last time out. So maybe he had an opportunity to get to know this colt last time out, and now he gets the opportunity to ride him back versus Jonathan Roman, who's riding Freight Train Cartel, the Morgan favorite, for the first time. So that is definitely also, I think, a plus there, because I think once you have an experience under a horse, you're probably a lot more confident in what the ability of that horse, or where you can correct, or what you can try to do different. So yeah, Good Trouble is definitely a positive that Cruz Mendez is jumping aboard for the second time. So that's a look at Michael Wrona's selection for Saturday night. Michael, I don't know if you have a recommendation here this time out. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're an avid hiker, an avid cerveza aficionado. Maybe we can start. We can start putting in some positive reinforcements for people where to go hiking in Southern California. Maybe some travel spots around the Southern California area if they come to visit, or maybe a good cerveza that they might enjoy around town when they come visit us at Los Al. So I don't know if this time, I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe for future shows, that could be a recommendation from Michael.
I'll put my thinking hat on. I do enjoy getting out and about and finding a hiking trail and then quenching the thirst afterward. Really enjoying Orange County. Matter of fact, my wife and I went on a whale watching excursion this morning. Nice. And although we went over with whales, we saw hundreds of dolphins and had a really good outing. So there's a lot to do in Orange County. Very fond of the area.
All right. Well, looking forward to the racing this weekend at Los Alamitos. Looking forward to your calls. And thanks for joining us, Michael.
Cheers, mate. Let's hope Good Trouble finds no trouble.
That sounds like a good thing to have. All right, Michael, have a good day.
Okay, hooroo.
Now at Los Alamitos, it's weekends full of thrilling action.
Racing!
With live quarter horse and thoroughbred racing every Saturday and Sunday nights. More races on our weekend night, plus strong fields in our early and late pick fours. And we're still adding $10,000 into our pick six pool when there's not a carryover going into the Sunday card. It's a great deal in our traditional pick six. Don't miss a second of the thrilling action at Los Alamitos.
Racing!
Every Saturday and Sunday nights.
Welcome back to the program. Back here at Los Alamitos, looking at the weekend card here for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we talked to Michael, kind of preview a little bit about the juvenile trials there, heading into the Saturday program. And now I'm pleased to be joined by Chris Wade. Chris Wade, the longtime Los Alamitos in-house simulcast. He's been handicapping Los Alamitos for a very long time, and also all of his analysis for the simulcast signal can be found on the Nightlines program. Chris, welcome to the show.
Good to be here. Nice to see Los Ponies.
Looking forward to seeing the likes of Apolitical Patty on Sunday, who figures to be a very, very short price, given how sensational she has been. But two trials on Saturday, Chris, a field of 9 and a field of 10. They look very, very competitive. Looking forward to them.
Yes, I sure am. Be very, very competitive events both nights.
You do have a horse that you like earlier in the program that is part of the late pick 4. With the 9-race program, that pick 4 begins in race number 6 there. And in race number 6, I believe you like the looks there of the Invader Dividends trick, I believe, right?
Yeah, I sure do. This horse is shipping in off of some nice workouts at Remington Park. Lost all chance in both starts over the oval. For a barn, I know very, very well. Michelle Hurdle always takes her time with her babies. And this horse did show some run far, far back. And when they ship these horses in, Darling Farms always does very, very well in the shipping. And they go to Jaime Gomez, who's also all part of the breeding operation with them.
Los Alamitos website there, where I'm showing the viewing public how easy it is to go and watch these workouts there that are available for the viewing public there.
Okay. On the inside of a 3-horse set.
All right, so I got the workout now going, Chris. What do you think of this workout?
I thought it was pretty good. I gave it a solid B minus. The horse broke a little slow and drifted in away from the gate, kind of slow in the stride, but before the nice one midway and finished steadily and galloped out very, very well. These favorite tricks are big body runners. They take a little time to get going, and this horse galloped out very, very strong. And I think shipping into California, this horse in a race that figures normally this quality of animal at this level here, Los Alamitos, they figure to go 1563 or so along those lines. This field that she's facing is like a 1575 horse group. So I think she's got a big, big look here on the ship in first time for Jaime Gomez and the barn.
Yeah, it was a 3-team workout there. She was on the inside there on July 6th. Given a time of 12:40, And looks like a runner that still has yet to prove what she could really do. She definitely has more than what she showed in Oklahoma there, having 2 troubled starts there. She did gallop out with good energy and in that local drill there. And this barn can get him ready to go off a workout like this there. So looking forward to it. That is Dividend's Trick, Chris Waite's pick. That will be race number 6, the start of the late pick 4. Do you have the morning line in front of you? Do you know what the morning line is on this horse?
Yeah, she's 6-1.
All right, 6-1 there on that runner, Dividend's Trick. Oscar Penado's having a good. He's become the main go-to rider now for the barn of Jaime Gomez there. So Dividend Trick looks like a top contender there in the 6. So in addition to people watching you in the simulcast, they can get all your selections for Los Alamitos and all your analysis race by race there in the paddock. But you do a lot of work there for the Nightlines program where you put in your analysis for the simulcast signal. What are the highlight tracks or the highlight races that are coming up and be covered in those analysis that you put out in the program?
Yeah, we do the prime. We do our selections for the simulcast being piped in. This week we got the Rainbow races coming in. We got the Derby on Saturday, and we got the Futurity on Sunday, the Grade 1 $1 million Rainbow Futurity. We got the Derby on Saturday, and the first post for that is at 3:54 p.m. But Futurity on Sunday goes at 4:15, so take note of that. They're a little bit early, but some quality runners going posted on our simulcast being piped in this weekend here at Los Alamitos. I like Expressum, the heavy favorite. Horses 5 for 5 this racing season in the Derby. A little bit tough to beat there for Heath Taylor. Was very, very impressive in the trial. My second choice would be Candy Blood, the horse who was second to that horse in the for Monte Rosa, versus the top choice in the race at Remington Park Derby. And my third selection will be Flashback, a horse who was second in the trial to Expressum, but steadily moving forward and has a look to grab a slice of the underneath exotic pie in the Derby that goes at 3:54 on the shipping. Yeah, Flashback, a horse we're familiar here at Los Alamitos, running in some very good races here locally in last season. So, Chris, thank you for all the hard work you do. People can catch your selections there on the simulcast signal every night, every racing night at Los Alamitos, and also all your analysis there in the primer section in the 9 last front. So, looking forward to the weekend here here racing at Los Alamitos with good trials both on Saturday and Sunday, and plenty of good simulcast action coming in from Rita. So, Chris, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you this weekend. You have a good day. All right, see you later. Welcome back to the program here. Jose Contreras coming to you from my AKA Los Ponis studios here in Casa de los Ponis. And for my pick, my key horse here for Saturday night, I'm going to go to the race number 9, the featured event, the Tami Purcell 350-yard handicap here. They're going a distance of 350 yards, $15,000 in the purse, named in honor of that terrific rider, Tami Purcell. We got a field of 7 here set to go. I'm going to key on number 4 horse, A Dash of Sign. A Dash of Sign here, to me, comes in very sharp form. The Nightlines program, you can get them in print form at the track or at various satellite wagering facilities here. These Power Performances program can also be downloaded online at losalamitos.com. Here's race number 9, the Tami Purcell, 350 yards. And I'm going to key on the 4 horse, A Dash of Sign, who's spotted to. The morning favorite is J Best Boogie along the inside for Jaime Gomez, a runner that finished 3rd in the Golden State Million Futurity last year. I'm keen on A Dash of Sign. Flippy halter will be worn once again. You can see the flippy halter there, a notation next to the sign. They added the flippy halter 2 starts ago, and the challenge here back on May 23rd, that 400-yard event, and ran a very game effort in the feet when narrowly missing by a nose to get wins 1. That terrific runner for the barn of Monte Rosa was coming off the layoff. A Dash of Shine was inching towards the leader there, but came up a nose short at 14-1. Then came back and validated that performance with a very sharp allowance win here back on June 18th there with a clocking of 16.70. Both times she had been ridden by Ruben Lozano. And Ruben Lozano there will be aboard once again for the barn of Mike Robbins and Reliance Ranches there. So let's take a look at the replay there. June 18th, gate 3. It was 330-yard allowance event. Did go off as the betting favorite that night. But A Dash of Sign there, I thought was going to look impressive there. It's going to win
pretty comfortably there. Gets out to a pretty good start, has a nice white path there to run down the middle part of the racetrack there. Grabs the lead past the gap there and is able to hold off the late kick of College Candle. A nice runner there. But I like the way A Dash of Sign was able to prevail. And it looked like she wasn't asked for her best that night. And she kept finishing with a pretty nice final weight at 9.55. So A Dash of Sign there, to me, is going to be my key horse for race number 9 on Saturday. 5-2 on Ed Berger's morning line. And like always there, you can take a look at these replays there free of charge at losalamitos.com. And you can get the night lines past performances on Los Alamitos as well. So that's a look at my key horse there for Saturday night. That is going to be A Dash of Sign, listed as number 4 horse there in Saturday night's race number 9. That is going to be the running of the Tami Purcell, 350 yards there with a purse of $15,000.
Circle City in the ascendancy late, and the Golden State Derby winner takes the vessel's maturity. Chocolatitos storming to victory in the vessel's maturity. A kiss through fire wins the Charger Bar.
Welcome to a little bit of a preview show here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. I'm Jose Contreras, your Los Alamitos analyst on TVG's The Quarters. Give you a little bit of a look and previewing the weekend of Saturday, July 24th, and Sunday, July 25th. And to talk about some of the races coming up, not only Saturday and Sunday, and maybe what's ahead, I'm going to bring in, that is Professor G, Orlando Gutierrez. Orlando, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jose, here in the patio in the Vessels Club room right behind me. I have the racetrack here right in front of me, enjoying the sounds and sights of simulcasting that's happening here at Los Alamitos. As you know, Jose, we're open 7 days a week for simulcasting. And, of course, now our weekend racing cars here at Los Alamitos every Saturday and Sunday night. And, of course, everybody enjoys watching you on TVG and the Quarters show.
So I got to tip my hat off to you. You found us a nice guest here. And before we give it away, maybe give a clue to see the viewers before we introduce this guest. Give them the clue, maybe a couple of horses that might associate with this guest.
Okay, well, we're going kind of in the late 1990s. And in this race, one of the biggest ones that she won in her career, I just gave a little bit of a hint there.
Yes.
Right? The top 3 finishers in that race were all female horses. And I'll give you the race, the champion of champions.
Our guest today is Miss Tami Purcell, Miss Tami Purcell. Welcome, Tammy.
Hi.
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're excellent here and excited to have you as a guest. And, of course, the reason that we have you, fortunate enough to have you here to join us, is because we have a special race here on Saturday night, the Tami Purcell Handicap, put together by our racing office. Is for 3-year-old fillies, 7 horses in there. And we're so very pleased to have it named in your honor, and so very, very pleased to have you here as a show with us today.
Well, I am honored. It was such a big surprise for me to have something like this after me. That's kind of like just kind of crazy to think of. So I'm very honored.
Now, so good to see you and good to catch up. But what keeps you busy now, and where's home base? What's the now life of Miss Tami Purcell?
Well, I haven't slowed down. My family says I haven't slowed down at all, but I base with my husband, Wayne Birkeland, out of Lexington, Texas. And we have a 140-acre ranch here that we run cattle on, and I train barrel horses and still running barrels professionally, and then also doing clinics and helping a lot of young kids with their competition for barrels, college and high school rodeo.
That's great, Tammy. And how about you give us a little bit of a background for those that might not be familiar with you, how you got started in horse racing quarter horse racing in particular, because I hear that first you were training to be a firefighter.
Yes, I had rodeoed all through school growing up. We had horses, my dad did, and we rodeoed. I don't remember it, but Mom and Dad always said when I was little, I would tell them I was going to be a jockey. I don't remember that, but I was always trying to race something. But after high school, going into my first year of college, I was going to take a year off from college, kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And my grandfather was a fireman. And so my mom said they're opening the fire department up in Austin. And that was the first year they were letting women actually apply. And so the message went out to my 3 cousins that were like 6 foot tall and really big guys. And none of them went and applied. I went and applied. And there was 4 women that were accepted into the Austin cadet class that year in 1991. And so, I'm sorry, 81. And so I was one of the women. And then I actually ended up being the only one that made it into a station as a rookie fireman. And then from there, going into my station, we worked 24 on, 48 off. So in my 48 off hours between studying for all my fire tests, I began to graduate out to Manor Downs Racetrack, where began to lope some horses trying to make some extra money, and ended up kind of staying there.
And the story goes, Tammy, that the story goes that you were galloping a horse, and Donna MacArthur got a glimpse at you at the way you were handling a pretty rough horse, and said, "Hey, I gotta get this young rider in my barn to work with my horses."
Unfortunately, lost contact with her, but I believe we got her back on the line.
That's right. Hi, Tammy. So we were just talking and about just the time that Donna MacArthur caught you working horses at Manor Downs, and she said, "I want to work with that young lady there," and that kind of started a long and fruitful relationship between yourself and Donna MacArthur. Do you remember those early times at Manor Downs, and what can you share about that?
Yeah, I remember riding there. I rode for quite a few trainers there. I started with Carl Woodley and Marvin Sharp-Smith. Arnold Simmons was there. A lot of tremendous trainers with really nice horses, and I learned a lot there under horsemanship and work ethic, and really got to watch Donna and James work, and then got the opportunity, became kind of friends with Donna, and Donna was willing to give me a chance, kind of encouraged James to give me a shot, and I kind of started going with them and learned so much. James took me to Bay Meadows and rode a really nice horse out there. Wasn't really quite ready to stay in California. I stayed there for a little while, but I knew I had a lot to learn, so I kind of came back to Texas and Louisiana and really put in a lot of work that I needed to get more prepared to ride in California.
Then in the mid-1990s, Donna MacArthur comes to Los Alamitos and starts training some really nice horses. The first Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity back then was the Los Alamitos Million Futurity, won by Evening Snow, and finishing second in that race, a horse by the name of Temerity Wrangler, and you were the rider on Temerity Wrangler. Right off the bat in the Los Alamitos Million Futurity, you almost won $1 million race.
Yes, sometimes you don't want to say for running second. You can learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
And, I took that to heart. That I took that as a win, and it really set me in a pace of knowing what I wanted and what I wanted to do and the kind of rider I wanted to be.
The following year, 1996, you hook up with a very special filly by the name of Dashing Folly. Started out her racing career in Texas, comes to Los Alamitos and just starts stringing victory after victory after victory. What was it like riding Dashing Folly early in that 1996 season?
Well, actually, in 95, we started her just a limited amount of time. And she had actually kind of made the consolation out in Ruidoso, but, I'm sorry, not at Ruidoso, but at Remington Park. And she just wasn't quite mature enough. She was tough to break. She was a handful. And we opted to not run her back in the finals and wait till the next year. And so, which was like the smartest thing Donna did. And they took this filly to maiden down. She was in a maiden World Derby. And she won the trials there, come back, won the maiden final, and then from there on, she just blossomed she just went from qualifying to just dominating. She loved it. I don't think I ever rode a horse that just absolutely loved what she was doing so much.
And Tammy, halfway through winning the Los Alamitos Derby here at Los Alamitos, and Tammy, halfway through winning the Los Alamitos Derby, she went from leading that race by a half a length to winning the race by a length and a quarter. And it was probably around that moment that, like you were saying, just that light just clicked, and she just stepped into just another echelon in her career. Do you recall at all? What do you recall from that Derby win?
Well, what I remember, I never Donna really in there. She wanted to tell you how she wanted to be trained, and how Donna let this in there. What she wanted, and when we kind of did what she wanted, and she told us when she wanted to go out and train on the track. She told us. She was very vocal as far as in the gates. She just was explosive in the gates, and she just said, she was like in her own world. She needed the gates to open, and she just gave it her all with no mistake. She just was a no mistake horse. So she made my job super easy. And I know when she would be on the backside every time after the race, she would just stop and stand and look back, and you couldn't make her move. You just had to let her stand there. She just kind of reeked in what had happened, and then she would bow up, come back on, So she kind of felt like I was like, just don't get in her way, and, just let her have all the confidence in the world. So, yeah, that mare really built me up quite a bit.
She goes on to win the Champion of Champions by a length, and like we mentioned earlier, defeated Blushing By and Asai, two just outstanding female runners as well. The following year, Tammy, you yourself and Donna MacArthur worked together and find Corona Cash.
Corona Cash.
What a filly she was.
She was. That filly came to us. James had her on the first string. She was at Remington, and she qualified for the Remington Park consolation, and we opted not to run her there because she was coming to California, and she was a little shin sore, so they opted not to take her back in the finals, just ship her on to California. We're there. I think the first time we started her, we had some trouble in the gates with her, and got her back to the barn, and she did not, her stall at California, she did not like her stall, and we ended up building her a stall on the outside between the two horse walkers looking in. And we took the blinkers off of her, and when we did, she was super happy. and so when we went to Ruidoso with her, she didn't stay in the main barn. She stayed down in the pony barn looking into the racing barn. So she never liked to be confined or where she couldn't see both sides. So she was always on the outside looking in.
She wins the All-American Futurity from the outside post number 10, wins it by a half a length. AQHA tweeted a photo of you at Ruidoso following the All-American Futurity win. What was that like to be taking that photo after that victory, knowing that you're basically on top of the world?
Yeah, it's still kind of, when you talk about it, it kind of takes my breath away because I had qualified 3 for the finals, and I had Miss Noah's Royal had the fastest, she had the 5th, and then I had another filly that had the 9th, and I chose to ride Corona back. I just felt like her and I were a partnership, and along with Donna. So I just felt like that was my strongest food was Donna and me and Corona. And so I went from the rules that thought she would just ride a few races, and as long as I could pay a few of my bills, it would be fun for a year, to ending up, a career and then doing the unthinkable of winning the All-American. So, yeah, little girl dreams do come true.
And then she comes here at Los Alamitos, runs in the Los Alamitos Derby, and wins it by a nose, beating Mr. Strawfly to you. Next race is the Champion of Champions going again. SLM, Big Daddy, Deposit Cash, some outstanding runners, and she runs just a game, gutsy 3rd place finish. How special was that just to know? Yeah.
It was special because you're riding something that gives it, your all. And I know throughout my career, I was taught by my parents to give it my all. And so she did too. And I knew that she left everything on the track. So there was no regret, no disappointment. We both left it all there. So it was a perfect race.
That's fantastic. So many years later, Tammy, you see last year Justine Kleiber won the Golden State Million Futurity here at Los Alamitos, the first woman to win $1 million race here at Los Alamitos. When seeing those great female riders and knowing that you were there for so many years, what goes through your mind, through your heart, knowing that you kind of set the tone in a lot of ways?
I hope I did. I hope I set a good path for women riders. I hope I set a respected path with good morals, and that you can be a lady and be tough. But you got to be dedicated. I don't care who you are, a man or a woman. You got to be dedicated to the sport. The dedication of 7 days a week. Every day getting up, and it's not just about you. It's about the animal that you're riding, that you have to come connected. So I hope other riders and other women have a good path on the dreams that they have.
That's fantastic. And Tammy, you are a firefighter. You barrel horse rider, a jockey. I think you rode some bulls, right?
Well, I actually ride before one of the fraternities out there. I qualified Corona Cash for. We've gone over to a little place, and I got on the people there. I thought Donna was going to kill me.
How did?
But yeah, I rode some little bit, rode some bulls, and have definitely explored a great adventure.
Congratulations on a tremendous career. How many Hall of Fames are you a part of?
We were thinking I just got inducted to the Rio Dosa Hall of Fame, the Texas Racing Hall of Fame, and AQHA Racing Hall of Fame. So 3.
Fantastic. Well, it was a pleasure catching up with you, talking to you. We're so pleased to be able to host and hold the Tami Purcell Handicap this Saturday with a tremendous group of runners, and we're so grateful that you were able to join us.
Well, I am so honored that y'all did this, and so I'm excited to watch the race tomorrow night.
Thank you so much, Tammy. It was a pleasure talking to you.
That was good to catch up with Tammy. Like she told us, Orlando, she's in the middle of Texas. I actually Googled it. Lexington, Texas is what she said, right? So she's about 50 miles outside of Austin. And I think the population census about 10 years ago, it was like 1,100 people. So she's out there with 140 acres, taking care of cattle and all kinds of animals out there. So we couldn't get the right connection for the video feed, but glad to have her and finish up the interview via phone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jose.
Now at Los Alamitos, it's weekends full of thrilling action.
Racing.
With live quarter horse and thoroughbred racing every Saturday and Sunday nights. More races on our weekend night, plus strong fields in our early and late pick 4s. And we're still adding $10,000 into our pick 6 pool when there's not a carryover going into the Sunday card. It's a great deal in our traditional pick 6. Don't miss a second of the thrilling action at Los Alamitos.
Racing.
Every Saturday and Sunday nights.
Well, Jose, like you mentioned, stack-packed weekend of action, especially from the quarter horse racing side here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. On Saturday, we have several trials to the John Deere California Juvenile Challenge. Those horses looking to earn one of the top 10 spots to move on to the final. The winner of the final gets a ticket to the Bank of America Challenge Championships, which will be held at the Downs of Albuquerque later this year. Also on Saturday, we have the running of the Tami Purcell Stakes, 3-year-old fillies in action. Some really nice runners in there, including J. Best Boogie, who comes back to action this weekend after running third in last year's Grade 1 Golden State Million Futurity. So a lot of exciting action here at Los Alamitos. And to preview the trials to the John Deere, we had the good fortune to catch up with trainer Jose Flores, who's got some really good runners going this weekend for the trials. We're here with trainer Jose Flores. A big night ahead on Saturday night, Jose. Trials to the John Deere Juvenile California Championship, and you have some really nice horses. We're here with Dash a Good Reason, a horse that's undefeated. Tell me about this run.
Yeah, he's a half brother to him. He's a Dash of Fire, and he's a stud colt right now, and he's done everything right. So there's been no reason to think he can't continue on that path, being a stud colt. So we're hoping that he continues on that path and be a brother, kind of a runner like his brother was,
And in that same race, you were saddling a horse by the name of Good Trouble, a horse that you mentioned that the more the distance, the better this horse is going to be.
Yeah, they're both the same kind of running style, both of them. Dash a Good Reason and Good Trouble. They're both the same kind of horses for that. I think the longer the race goes, the better it gets,
What about Dash a Dynasty, another runner that you'll have in the trial?
He needs to get away better than he did in the Edinburgh trials, and if he does, I think he'll be real tough. He was just a couple ticks from getting into the Edinburgh, so we're hoping big things for him too.
That's the runner that's finished second twice to one of your other horses, Black Coffee.
Yeah, he did. And they were working together since they were babies and everything. They were partners, and everything was good with them. And but Dash a Dynasty just had a little bit rougher luck, So hopefully everything puts it all together and gets a better start this time.
You had more people that you were able to catch up with earlier this week. And I believe you caught up with Jim Schlage.
That's right. He's the owner of El Misterio, a horse that won the first trial to the Governor's Cup Futurity and performed really well. A horse that had gotten into a lot of trouble during his earlier starts. And Jim Schlage talked about those early races that El Misterio had. And prior to the horse's victory in the trials to the Governor's Cup Futurity, we were fortunate enough to catch up with Mr. Schlage in the winner's circle after he won that Governor's Cup Futurity trial with El Misterio.
So he's had trouble in all of his starts, especially the last one. He got pinched off and impeded. We drew the rail our first 2 starts, and they were pretty good efforts. But he's never had a clean trip, and this was pretty clean. Still not a super good break, but I bought him. His mom's a thoroughbred. It's part of my breeding research, and he was able to finish tonight, and that's what I was hoping for. So the longer they go, the better he should be, and we got some luck tonight finally.
Tell me a little bit about your background in quarter horse racing. How long have you been an owner? What got you kind of involved here at Los Al?
I started out in the early 90s. I actually bred the champion 3-year-old gelding of 1994, a horse named Rainbow Sun. And Russell Harris was my trainer.
It's interesting he mentioned he likes to look for that thoroughbred breeding on the dam side.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what El Misterio has. It's out of Devon Lane mare named Be Mysterious. Devon Lane, we've seen some pretty good quarter horses that have raced under that breeding line going back to maybe the early 2000s. Devon Lane was producing, siring some really nice babies here at Los Alamitos. And I tell you, El Misterio is going to have his hands full on a trial night. That's a really strong trial that he'll be going against the Blue Mallard, a horse that I think had a really nice workout coming into this race. That's a good reason, undefeated, good trouble, horse that I really, really like. The way that he finished last race was really impressive. And if he gets a little bit good break at 5-1 on the morning line, watch out. Good trouble. Could be trouble for his rivals.
But I believe you also got a chance to catch up with Mr. Scott Willoughby.
That's right. On Saturday night, the first 4 races on the card are around the turn. And after that, we start the cavalry of quarter horses going on Saturday night. Race number 5, we have some maiden runners going in there. And number 3 in the race, Hitters Up, a horse that Scott Willoughby will be saddling. He's got a couple of more in action during the card. We were able to catch up with Scott Willoughby as he talks about some of these babies going into Saturday's card. We're here with trainer Scott Willoughby. Scott, this weekend, Saturday night in particular, you have a couple of runners with a chance to break their maiden, getting their first win and hopefully a trip to the winner's circle. Let's start with Hitters Up, a horse that's been knocking on the door for a while now. How do you see this runner going into his race?
The horse, he's a good, good trier. He just missed a couple of times, and I think the horse run really well this weekend. Jonathan will be first time on it, but Jonathan's a good rider, and we should be all right. So everything should go well.
In the next race, race number 6, On the Up, horse that showed a lot of early speed and last out, finished a solid 3rd. How do you see this runner maybe taking a next step up?
I was surprised last time he got beat. He left there running really hard. He hit the gate pretty hard and kind of knocked him around, but he got caught down the other end, but he should be fit and ready to go, and I think he'll run real well.
And also in that race, you have a horse by the name of Beyond Being, out of thoroughbred mare Celestial Being, that's done extremely well with her babies here at Los Alamitos. She's had a lot of winners race here at Los Al.
Yeah, she's a great brood mare and starting to produce some really good horses. And this horse has showed some talent, has had some trouble in some races, and being on the outside, I think he'll be double tough to outrun.
Catching up with Scott Willoughby, he's got some live entrants there in Saturday night's program, races 5 and 6 respectively there. But I do see that you kind of like one of them in particular off of the replay.
Yeah, that's going to be my pick for the night. I'm going to go with number 3, Hitters Up, in race number 5. And if you look at that backtrack of that race last out when he ran 3rd, you're going to see this horse getting bumped twice. And we're going to take a look, if possible, of the head-on of this race. And you'll see him getting bumped out of the break, and then getting bumped a little bit after the break. And that's what's great if you're watching for those that are kind of handicapping these races and getting started. LosAlamitos.com, we offer not only the live streaming of the races, but we also offer replays for free. You can go back and look at not only the pan shot of the race, but also the head-on, where you can see some of this key trouble that can help a horse, identifying some horses with a chance to come back and win, just by finding those little bumps here and there in the races that are happening. So now we're going to look at the pan right here.
He's going to be
gonna get bumped.
4.
Yeah. And look at that horse from the outside comes in and kind of pushes hitters up to the inside. The horse is going to lose some ground here, but look at the way he's just fighting there and runs a solid third, in my opinion. You're going to get 3-1 on hitters up on Saturday night. Here's the head-on, Jose. There's the bump. And boom, gets bumped again. And Victor Salazar kind of stays busy with the horse, keeps him in action, keeps him fighting. And he's going to outfinish that other horse that I was on the outside of him for third place. He gets a nice trip, clean start in this race. Jonathan Roman up for the first time. He's a solid rider. I can see hitters up winning, returning 3-1 odds. I'll take that horse.
Yeah, hitters up will be in gate number 3 in race number 5. That is going to be Orlando's pick there for Saturday evening. Looking forward to the juvenile trials. Looking forward to the Tami Purcell there. Looking ahead, a quick tidbit about Sunday. The entry's already out. We kind of already know who's entered there. Well, one name stands out, and that name is right behind me here in that cover of Track Magazine. That is Apolitical Patty, Orlando.
Apolitical Patty, sensational race when she won the Los Alamitos Oaks. And she was just ahead by 2 lengths.
Yeah.
And Michael Wrona was still kind of in his early cadences of the race. And kind of the same thing that she did in the Los Alamitos 2 Million Futurity, just flew out of the gate, went on to win. Now owned by Juliana Honholt, a tremendous breeder, breeds some of the top quarter horses in the nation, has some of the best broodmare bands in the nation. During Corona Chick's later part of her career, Juliana Honholt owned Corona Chick, also owned Apolitical Time, and this horse, Apolitical Patty's bloodlines go back to Apolitical Time, a sensational mare that we saw win so many big races here at Los Alamitos.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 Golden State Derby trials on Sunday. Apolitical Patty will be in the second of those trials. That will be as race number 9. He's already a millionaire. 8 wins from 10 starts, 1 second, only 1 finish off the board, and that was a triple trip in the Golden State Million Futurity, where she got fractures there and didn't fire her best shot. Other than that, Orlando, she has turned into a sensational 400-yard specialist, and she's going to be ultra tough there on Sunday.
Yeah, and there's an interesting horse, Jose, that she'll be facing. Apolitical Patty will be facing. That's number 4, Dreamland Express, a horse that arrives here from Heritage after running in the Heritage Place Derby, ran 4th in that race. Really good finish in that race. Looking forward to seeing a newcomer here at Los Alamitos, Dreamland Express, going against Apolitical Patty in this Golden State Derby trial.
Yeah, and good to know that Dreamland Express, when he raced here at Los Al last season, he won 2 races in a row with gate speed. Now, there were shorter races, easier fields, but he showed an affinity for this racetrack. And that's what, if Apolitical Patty's going to get beat, is if she makes a mistake and somebody's able to, beat her at the gate. And Dreamland Express might be one of those runners there with that gate speed. So looking forward to the juvenile trials on Saturday. Looking forward to the Derby trials on Sunday. Anything you want to know that's coming up in the next few weeks here at Los Al?
Well, Jose, the nominations are out for California Breeders' Champions Weekend now. It's going to be a 2-night event. The Governor's Cup Futurity will headline the Saturday action next week, July 31st. And on August 1st, the Governor's Cup Derby will be the key race on Sunday night. But the nominations are outstanding, especially in the Spencer Childers. The winners of the last 2 runnings of the Vessel's Maturity, Circle City and Chocolatito, are nominated to the race, as well as the stablemate Nomadic, who we have not seen since winning the Southern California Derby. Just an outstanding trio there from the barn of Scott Willoughby and Dr. Ed Allred will be going in the Spencer Childers. Kiss Through the Fire, who won the Charger Bar Handicap earlier this year, will headline the Matron Stakes nominees. And Jose, in the Freshman Stakes, Golden Boy, the winner of the Edberg Million Futurity, has been nominated to the Freshman Stakes. And I asked Valentin Zamudio, Valentin, are you going to run him in the Freshman Stakes next week? And he just said, I think so. We're going to, that's what we're shooting for. We're going to be seeing him, if everything goes well. Golden Boy will be running next weekend here at Los Alamitos as part of that great Champions Weekend here at Los Al.
Yeah, so it's kind of fitting. I have Apolitical Patty here on my left, and I have the 9 lines there with Golden Boy in the cover back when winning the Ed Burke. So hopefully we get to see some of these talented runners, not only this week, but in the weeks ahead there for the California Breeders' Champions Night. Orlando, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, and we'll look forward to the racing here this weekend at Los Al.
Thanks, Jose. We'll talk to you soon.